Construction.
What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube. Give us a like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know with your host Comp and
Hi-ya-ya-ya-ya.
it's racist. And today's film is
Psycho Goreman, 2020, which I guess it must have come out at the very end of 20. Oh no, is it 2021? It's a little confusing because
it seems like it just came out. Honestly, I think it was made, but
I'm
it just
looking
got
at
released.
One date says 2020, the other says 22nd of January 2021.
Yeah, I would say that I would say it came
recent.
out. Yeah, I say it came out January 22nd. Honestly, Psycho Gorman, 2021. After unearthing a gem that controls an evil monster looking to destroy the universe, a young girl and her brother use it to make him do their bidding. Directed and written by Steven Kostanski, starring Nita Jose Hanna, Owen Meyer, Matthew Neighbor, and a whole bunch of other people.
Look at these names.
So Danny,
You're so good at pronouncing them.
Why did you pick Psycho Gorman?
Did I pick it or did you pick it?
I think we had one episode that we didn't have to pick up.
It looked fun. It looked fun.
Yeah,
So
I was very worried because I
why.
saw the trailer for this and I was like, oh, okay. I actually thought it was a European horror film when I first saw the trailer for it.
It's Canadian. They're the Europe of North America.
So. I didn't really listen to it. I just saw the visuals for it, and I really thought it was like a Swedish horror movie for some reason, because you know why?
Okay.
Because monster effects don't look this good in American films for some reason, or like the sort of. I mean, they
it's
do.
Really fun.
The monster like designs do look good in American, but very rarely. Like you only see them maybe on like on a sci-fi channel show, because they all for most part American monster characters tend to look like whatever's in those J.J. Abrams horror movies. Like they try to make them scientifically accurate or a guess of what a monster from another planet would look like, and it's just like boring. Like I want it to look like this. Like this is cool. This is like you said, it was like Power.
Yeah,
produced
this is
by
like
Saban,
a horror movie Power Rangers mixed with Billy and Mandy.
Because when you told me it was like Power Rangers, I was like, I looked at the opening. I think it's Saban Films produced it, which is obviously the group that brought over Power Rangers to the American audience. But then
is that true? Okay, I
but then there's
totally
there's a very obvious Power Rangers riff at the very beginning when they're playing Crazy Ball. They do which is the fucking thing, the same riff that they did for Power Rangers. So there can't be any fucking like, it can't be a coincidence that they do weird shit like that, because it's obviously a 90s sort of kids film, but like injected with like horrific violence and gore, and even the ending, like
Some of the gore in this movie was just beautiful.
Oh yeah, but they certainly do a nod towards like Ninja Turtles and stuff like that at the end, because Psycho Gorman even has its own rap song at the end. So it's definitely like a 90s film, and I was very surprised by the director, Steven Kostanski, because we've actually
reviewed
that
movie The Void.
I know, and it's a movie
I remember like not really liking that much.
Yeah, it was weird because I was like, I thought the visuals.
I remember thinking it was like a disappointment, like
right,
story,
same.
But like it was cool, but like not that good.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it, and I thought the visuals were fantastic. I thought everything was great, but it just didn't hold together as a storyline. Like it just was like kind of boring because it was just people stuck in a hospital. But I was like, okay, whatever. But the effects and the last bad guy, who's like this sort of, he was like the shadow old man, and like that was great. But I was like, all right, whatever, because it was hype.
I don't even remember that much.
Yeah, it was like super hype. Like they're saying, like, oh, it's like John Carpenter. I was like, no, it was like John Carpenter now, maybe not John Carpenter when he was like really good. But anyway,
yeah.
And he also directed Manborg, which is a very fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is a very fun movie, which is like a VHS type of movie. If you want to see like a contemporary of Manborg, I think is that. Oh, what is that movie? Oh shit, where it's like a guy. Oh fuck it, whatever. There's a recent movie of like a karate guy that goes into the internet and he fights Hitler and shit like that, and he's like riding on a T-Rex, and they're gonna make a big movie version of it soon. I'll find the name for it. Anyway, cool. He also worked on ABCs of Death, which was a hit or a miss. He worked on part 2.
Which one did he do?
I don't know. It says W for Wish, so I don't remember which one that is.
I don't remember that one.
He also worked on Leprechaun Returns, which was the newest version, not the one where he was like a little
Not the origin
Mong,
one. God, I
not
hated
that
that.
piece of crap, but the new one, which actually people said it was okay. So who
Okay.
knows? I
Well, in
just
any
want
case, this movie
yes,
is
very.
great.
This is like it quickly
It's the
rose to my
stupidest, goofiest humor in the world. I
really
love it.
it quickly rose to my favorite of 2021 already. Just because I'm like
Yeah.
wow, because it's very funny, which is very
I
hard
can't
because
stop thinking of Billy and Mandy with this. Like,
yeah, yeah. Why don't you explain
there's
what
no way he didn't watch it.
Why don't you
Uh,
explain what Billy and Mandy is to people that haven't heard of that show?
Billy and Mandy was a old cartoon from that that series of cartoons on Cartoon Network, and basically this girl Mandy is like a Daria type of character, like just a super bitch, and her friend Billy is a complete idiot, and they somehow um, get deaf to like the Grim Reaper into like servitude. Like Mandy has power over him, and they just go on like weird
Oh yeah, I guess that
supernatural
is just like
adventures.
this. Yeah, it's funny because I
Yeah,
never
I
really
mean
watched.
it's a similar premise, and just the idea that like the Grim Reaper like really doesn't like them and just wants to escape, and it's just very funny. Like,
I never really watched that show, but I did always like the fact that the Grim Reaper had a Jamaican accent. It was just so.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was just always funny to me. I thought it was just funny. But anyway, so this movie. How does this movie begin? I'm trying to remember how this movie began. It's
It's
just there's
doesn't
so
it
much
start with all the aliens? Oh no, it starts with them playing that game,
crazy
and
ball
and then Luke has to dig the hole.
yeah, here's the thing with the two main characters. There's Mimi and Luke, and either you're gonna really really like Mimi or really hate Mimi.
No, she's the best.
She's like, I was like,
I
damn, I hate
love
this
her.
fucking little ass. She's a somebody said it correctly in another review of this film. They said that she's like Cartman, where she acts like a complete asshole, but she's funny. But she is
Yeah,
funny. Like Nita Jose Hana is very funny. She's very
she's
good.
just like a fucking asshole, but she's a great actress. Holy
Yeah, she's
shit!
very good. Because at the beginning, I was like, what?" 'Cause I was like, "What the hell kind of acting is this?" But then, like, when you realize the type of character that she is and the way that the film is kind of threaded out, it's very fun. You could see the part where, like, they're just very good with the jokes with this film. Like, it's
And Luke is just like so. I don't know.
vanilla.
Like his character is just so funny to me because he's just like so ready to be abused by this horrible sister.
The funny thing, like, because I remember something that really was funny is when Mimi and Luke are eating with the parents, like, because the father made like microwave chicken or chicken breast or something, and it sucked.
Yeah.
And there's a part when obviously she has a crush on one of his friends named Alistair. And anyway, so they leave, and then she makes it. There's a part where she's leaving the room, and the mother calls to her like for something, and she dramatically turns around, like she just turns around in the middle of the. And I thought that was the funniest fucking thing I saw. That like that it's like a lot of talent that a kid can do that type
Yeah.
of body comedy for like an adult sort of stupid
Yeah,
over
she's like
dramatic.
super funny.
So she's
Like,
very
she's
funny.
super
Like
funny.
overall, like you might be like, oh, she's a fucking asshole, this kid, but she's very funny. Like they gave her a lot of funny shit to do, and that's really props. And I think
And
Luke,
they're all funny, honestly. The mom is really funny, and the dad is like fucking great when he broke
was
his
funny
hand
because
from like how did he break his hand? Like turning a doorknob or something? Like it was.
I
Like,
think he
something
was
so stupid.
bullshit. I think he was bullshitting because he was digging the grave, or he was putting
No,
the
but then
dirt back in
later
the.
on,
Oh,
no,
he
but then
did. He
later on
did break his
he
hand
has a
for
bone
real because he
breakout
tries
from,
to give
like,
a
nothing.
he tries to give a high five to Psycho Gorman, and his hand breaks. But
Right.
that actor is actually from the. We saw a movie called The Editor, which was like a giallo comedy.
Did we?
We
I
did.
don't remember.
It was very good. It's a movie called The Editor. That group of guys like him, they all worked together with this group. I forget. They just disbanded. They were a group of filmmakers, and they
Yeah.
made movies like Manborg and The Editor and stuff like that. But really slick looking, like this is a group of like effects people that know how to film and direct, and they made a bunch of films. And it's funny because they had a famous like falling out with Trauma, because like you know how we see Uncle what's his name? They call him Uncle the main guy from Lloyd Kaufman, Uncle Lloyd.
Yeah, yeah, Lloyd Kaufman. Yeah.
Because Trauma does really bad things apparently with I'm not here to talk shit with Trauma because I have not
I've
personally
heard about
experienced
some
it.
of the drama. I've
But
heard
they'll
of the
like
drama.
they'll take the rights for your film and never distribute it, and then sell it for themselves and keep the money and not tell filmmakers. Allegedly, that's what happened, and then that's what happened with these guys because their
Yeah.
film, they made a film called Father's Day, which is about a rapist that only attacks fathers, and
Okay.
like it sounds it's not rape's not funny. It's just the idea of the movie is stupid.
Yeah.
But apparently they did that for Troma. Troma just like threw their movie online for free on YouTube, and they were like, "What?" And then like
Oh.
they didn't make any money, so they really I think they might have disbanded just because of that. But anyway,
Oh.
so that's a group of really very well done, very creative filmmakers, and if you see their stuff, you can
Yeah.
see their stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, he's the actor. Let me try to see what the actor's name is. What was his name? Uh,
Greg or something.
yeah, Greg
Greg.
Adam Brooks. Yeah, he's very good in this. He's like very funny, and it's just the tiny jokes in the film that work. Like
It's
part,
just stupid. The whole film is like so.
yeah, but it's like
but like in such a fun way.
it's smart stupid humor. You know, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
stupid, but stupid in a way that it's very funny and that it's like
Yeah,
intelligent.
no,
It's
no.
not
When I
insulting.
say
Yeah.
stupid, I'm saying
No,
it
no,
in,
I
like,
know
a
what you mean.
positive.
I know
It's
what you
just
mean.
like the dumbest, silliest humor you can have.
And I
Like,
and I
love it.
swear and I swear it has to be. It has to be that they created one character's name for the sole purpose of a throwaway joke. Like
Right, and
when
build
the
a movie around it.
when the husband just no, this is not even with Psycho Gorman, but the husband Greg, when he gets upset at the wife saying calling him lazy, and he says,
Yeah.
"Don't call me lazy, Susan." And lazy Susan is a fucking thing that you it's like a bowl that you put on top of a
I
table.
didn't catch that joke.
And I was like
Yeah.
that has to be it has to be that like because like she's probably just her character's not throwaway because you can see her she's just getting frustrated throughout the whole film. And for that one
Yeah.
line, it had to be. I can't imagine they like just happened to come up with that thing, but it was like it's very smart. And the thing is, like, I'm gonna compare it a little bit to a film that we had seen recently, which was called Uncle Peckerhead.
Uncle Peckerhead. No, this is way
Which
better in my
I
opinion.
know that, but this is what I'm gonna say because you like Uncle Peckerhead. I didn't like the
No,
comedy in
I
it.
thought it was okay. I thought it was
Okay.
okay.
Well, I thought the comedy in it was like super like it's a different style of comedy in Uncle Peckerhead.
This comedy is way more my taste than Uncle Peckerhead.
Yeah, so and that's why I had problems and people were upset that
This
we
is
didn't
like a
like
lovable. This is like a heartwarming, cuddly humor to me. I love it.
that. Yeah, and a great thing about this film too is just the it's cuz I was very surprised. Honestly, I was very surprised at how well this movie was made as in the
Yeah.
look the designs of the monsters, like the monsters
And even
are,
when it gets like kind of like, there's like points where it's like very much like a Power Rangers fight when they're all the fighting, and it's like,
oh yeah.
but it's like done in like such like a, you could tell they're going for that like low budget Power Rangers feeling. Like,
Yeah, and it
feels,
and
like,
it
intentional.
even though it looks it doesn't even to me it didn't even look low budget to me. You know what I mean? It looked
No, no, just like the one point where they're fighting in the forest.
Oh, I
and
know
it,
what you're
like,
talking about with
totally
his
felt
old
like
crew.
an episode of Power Rangers. Like it really did.
But there's so many fucking funny parts of this film. Like even the part when Psycho Gorman they tell him to stay at the I guess the old shoe factory or was it some kind of factory it was.
Yeah,
So
it was
they
a shoe
come
factory, yeah.
they come in the next day and the girl hands him a magazine like a teen magazine. There's a handsome guy in it. And he's like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want. She's like, I don't want this. And then she's like, you don't want handsome boys. He goes, or do I? And there's like a close up of his eyes looking at the man in the magazine for like 5 seconds, and I was like, what the fuck is this movie about? It is
Yeah.
just like the jokes
Yeah,
are like.
sometimes the camera would like hold on a joke longer than I would expect.
Yeah, and
like,
and the thing is like not. I like this is the one of the very rare movies where I got every joke. You know, like
yeah.
not one joke was like unfunny to me, which is very fucking rare because I laughed throughout the whole fucking movie because how stupid it was. Because I know
There's
you.
one scene that is like my favorite where the parents are like, it just keeps going back and forth between the parents being scared and him saying, "I'll kill you, I'll kill you," as she's like, "He's not going to hurt you, don't worry."
And
Like
I knew
he just keeps saying
when
it.
I was watching that part, I knew you were. I could see you laughing at that scene because how stupid it was. He was like threatening them.
Even when I like watch, I watch comedy. I love comedy, but like I don't usually laugh out loud, But
Right.
like I really did, like probably like 4 or 5 times during this.
Oh yeah, certainly. And the part where Psycho Gorman psychically contacts the father on the toilet, and he has to keep returning because he doesn't-
yeah.
it's just.
I also the scene where he's in the nightmare And then, like, after he says his message, he's like, "We'll just wait for this dream," and it just like holds the dream for like 5 seconds as
That's
these
what I
like
was gonna bring
zombies.
up because the nightmare still had to continue, so it was just sort of sitting
So
there.
it's just like him sitting there, like waiting as these like horrible zombie creatures are crawling around.
Oh man, I don't think Saban was part of this film. I was mistaken. RJLE Entertainment, but anyway, it has that sort of wonder of like a kids movie to it. They capture it
Yeah.
so well done, and like the relationship between the parents is great.
Mm-hmm.
Just I mean the relationship between the kids, because they're sort of, you can tell they're like these adults that just
At
in their
one
late
point, when they were
30s or
doing
40s.
the Morse code in the beginning, and then the mom does Morse code to tell them to stop. I don't know why that was so funny to me. Like this whole
Because she
family's
knew their
just
shit.
so. This whole family's just so fucked up and weird.
And
Like,
let's talk a little bit about the gore. What do you think about the gore in the film?
oh my god, it was good
It's
when he
very
first
good.
when he first comes and like he turns those people that that were in the shoe factory into like his eyes are rolling around and
Yeah,
he
when you
makes
make
him a
that guy
slave and then
immortal
he
by turning him into like a living
yeah,
statue.
and then he falls and his head explodes and he's like my masterpiece. Like that part is amazing.
Another
And
part was
also the cop,
yeah.
the way the cop looks with the gun like weaving up his arm veins
And he's just like
shit. Oh, it was so
through the
good.
whole time, and he
That
like
was like
she
the
had told
best.
him to write. They didn't even say, she just told him to write love letters to her, and it was like he wrote "Please kill
Please
me,"
kill
and she
me
just
or
gets
something.
upset.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so good. I mean, like this is a movie like
It's just like
I
it's
can
very
rewatch
funny.
with
Yeah.
friends. You know the part that where I knew it was it was gonna be fucking funny, man. Because you told me it was gonna be funny because you laughed out loud. I was like, all right. So I did laugh at parts of it, but the part when they first meet Psycho Gorman and then she tells him to lift up her brother and spin him.
Yeah.
I could not stop laughing at how stupid it looked, because it was just a kid floating in the air spinning. And it was, to me, it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in a movie, and I could not stop laughing how dumb it was. It was just like so
Right.
stupid, and like I thought it's just a brilliant movie. And then so there's this other group of I guess the aliens. There's this whole backstory.
It made like no money though. I'm looking at the box office. It's 60. Well, okay, we have COVID and shit too.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it makes money in its like
Because this is a good movie. It
It
would
really
be a
is.
shame if it doesn't do well.
But the
Like,
thing is, this is such a bizarre type of film that people might just not want to watch just because of the name or because of the look of the characters.
no, it's
I
brilliant.
know, no, I know what you mean, because they're like the scenes with the space Templars or whatever they're called, and
Yeah.
she looks fucking dope. The main bad woman.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
She
white
looks like
thing.
something that came out of like Transformers or something. But the ones that were funny was that asshole with the horns on his face, and like he's like the one with the fan wave. He's like
I'm trying to remember him.
he's the only mutant that talks besides the robot girl. He's like the one with the fan on
Okay.
his face. He's telling him, oh, she's not gonna succeed, and the part where at the end where they have at the end when they decide who's gonna kill themselves first, and they pull out a regular revolver, like a
Yeah,
human
yeah,
gun.
yeah, yeah.
But that me laughed was when the space Templar, the main lady, she like transports some random woman into their lair from Earth,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah,
she
yeah.
eats her, and the very fey, like the guy with the horns on his face, the comedic one,
Yeah.
there's like a robot skeleton next to him, and they're all shocked, and he's covering the robot skeleton's eyes so he doesn't have to see it. It was so fucking funny. There's like this very disturbing, like dark, like android character. And when they kill the woman, his jaw drops, and it's just so fucking stupid. It's just the greatest.
Yeah.
That's why there's a snake person that's offended. I mean, it's just like so good, and the design of Psycho Gorman, the guy playing Psycho Gorman, because he was apparently played by an actor, and then they had a voiceover do his voice for him. And I mean,
Yeah,
like
there's no way that voice wasn't a voiceover.
right. I mean, his physical and his voice is so fucking good. Like the guy playing, just the both of them together working
I
together.
love
was
the
so
design
good.
too. It reminds me of like some kind of mutant Piccolo or something.
Yeah, it looks
from,
like something out of like the '80s, like definitely like an '80s, like but like metal cover, like from a metal album and stuff. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like how Psycho Gorman tries to convince the little brother to take the jewel from her, which I thought was gonna happen because I was like, yeah, take the jewel from that fucking asshole. But it was he was just like, it just leads
Well,
to
I'm
that nightmare
glad that
scene.
in the end, I mean, the end is not a happy ending, but like he spares them and kills everyone else.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, there's ways to make a sequel, and I would actually watch a sequel. I don't know how the sequel would be, but
I don't know if they should do a sequel.
yeah, I know because this is way too good. Like it's just so good, and the fact
Yeah.
that it ends on a kids game as opposed to just like bloody melee and stuff like that, even though it was going up
Yeah.
to it, it's just funny. It's just a funny movie, and I hope people appreciate it and why the because this
Yeah.
is for like a smart audience. Sure, it's like dumb or whatever, but it's like for a smart audience because like this I laughed at. Like people, I remember we saw Tucker and Dale, versus whatever,
I like
or
that one
versus Evil,
too.
and we enjoyed it. But like this, I'm like I'm not running back to see Tucker and Dale. Like I'll rewatch this.
Tucker and Dale is like a cuddly movie, but this is like I love this movie.
Yeah,
This
I
is good.
mean, was
It's
there any?
definitely. I mean, so far. I mean, this year isn't very long, but this is my favorite movie I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, same here. What is there any negative aspects of the film for you?
Not really, honestly.
Yeah, I
Like
know it
it's.
really is that good to me.
I can't think of anything. I don't know.
It's
I don't know. I was really trying to be critical of it, but I just enjoyed the whole thing. It was
it's
great.
really hard to make. Well, I mean, comedy horror for everybody. Obviously, this comedy might not be for everybody because it's that silly sort of, but well thought out comedy, character based comedy, and
Yeah.
like the part where I guess when Psycho Gorman charges up a ball to throw it at the kid and it goes through the wall and scares the father, shit like that, like just dumb jokes like that work for this film, and it's just everything's funny. The little girl is such an asshole that she's hilarious,
Yeah,
and
I love her. The way she moves and like her hair will flop behind her and shit. Like everything about her is funny to
the
me.
character designs are fucking great. Like his old crew, is that that old guy who looks like a weird sort of like
Hmm.
monkey elf or something who has the crown. That guy, I remember his name, Cassius 3000. The guy who had like a copper face, like he was made out of gold.
Right.
The
The one with the
Jap
he had a copper mustache or
There was like a
something.
woman that was made out of trees. There was that mystic or a mage, and she spoke Japanese. Because I was like, I realized what she said. She was like, "Toskate gomenasai," which is like, "Please help me." And
Hmm.
then she kept just talking Japanese for some
Is
reason.
that
And
the
then
one whose head got ran over at the
in
end?
the car, and then there's that little machine who looked fucking great that had the dead bodies in it.
Oh, that was shooting the blood. Oh, that was so funny to me.
And it was so
The
funny because
slow
right
motion blood, and it's like, what is
because then
happening?
like when I forgot what he says. He says, "Oh my god," and then it gets smashed and killed. Like it was gonna say, "Oh my god" for some reason. It was so stupid, but like it really is. This is really like such a good movie from a very talented group of people that you can tell that they took their time on this. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
wrote it really well. This is not
It
some
made me
sort of
really like. I mean, not that the director needs my respect, but like,
right.
because the void was like, it's cool. Like I liked it, I think, but I remember thinking like it could have been so much better. But like, I definitely like this director now. Like,
Absolutely
I
no.
will check
He's
out the other stuff. And
he's
apparently they
super
made a.
talented.
I don't know if it was I might be confusing it. Is he the one that did like a Blade Runner things or something, or am I wrong?
What are you talking about?
Didn't he? I might be completely confused. Hold on. I'm gonna. You keep
One of my
talking. I'm
favorite
gonna look
jokes
it
is
up.
also the spiky face guy when they were like upset at the end about Psycho Gorman taking over the city. And he takes this plate of blue linguine or whatever. He goes, "Stop eating all the blarg snar," like some stupid alien name to, and he just started eating himself like a pig. And then somebody was like, "Hey, pass those blarg snars here." I was like, "What the fuck
No,
does that got to do
I'm
with the
confusing it
movie?"
with something else. Never mind. I'm completely wrong. What I just said.
Either way, it's very hard to see such well done production, as in like the monster designs. Though I think the only weak monster design is probably Alistair. He's like this brain. He looked like that looked like the first
I
monster
really
that they
liked it
created.
actually. It's
He just
just
left him like that.
stupid.
And he's eating dinner with his family at the end.
Yeah.
I think it's just an incredible job and like just really well done. And this is like the type of comedy that we enjoy. I mean, if you listen to our show, you can tell what kind of comedy we enjoy. And I think this
Yeah.
is the no. I think this is probably the most solid comedy horror that we have seen. So I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll probably be equal on the idea of what its rating is. I would give it a 9 out of 10. Um, Thinking that you've just destroyed the Psycho Goreman, so you have to pull out a random cheap human weapon to see who kills himself first.
Okay,
When you lose.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out
Yeah,
of 10.
yeah. You know what? I think I would give it a 10 out of 10 too. I'm trying to temper it, but yeah. You know what?
Nah, I give it a 10 out of
I
10.
change. Yeah, I put it at 10
You've
as
been
well.
enslaved and your gun is weaved through your veins, and you try to put yourself out of your own misery by shooting yourself in the head, and it doesn't work.
That had to be a video drum reference. It had to be.
I was thinking that too, actually.
Yeah, I'm switching my 9 to a 10 as well. It's that fucking entertaining. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's a 10 out of
Cool.
10. It's just so well done. And the fact that he gets upset when they destroy his magazine with a hunky boy on it, that pissed him off even more. So good. Such a good movie. And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Blorg.
The hard instruction.